So we'll start 3D modeling with the boss base feature. This is the most basic feature which you'll use very frequently for making 3D parts. Now we'll start basically with sketches and then we'll convert it using boss base feature into 3D. So I'll go to this sketch tab and I'll click on sketch and I'll select the top plane to start sketching. I'll go to circle and here I'll just make a circle and then a rectangle as well. Alright, so with these two, I'll now click on this exit sketch, which will take me out of this sketch environment. And now the sketch will turn into this kind of gray color, which means we are no longer in the sketch environment. And now we are in the 3D modeling environment. So let's go to now features. And here we have the extruded boss base feature. Click on it and then select the circle. Alright, and as soon as you make the selection, well, you will see the 3D representation of what it's going to look like. Now, here you can increase the height of this extruded feature using this arrow. So click this arrow right at the top of this and move it up or down to add thickness. If you want to be precise, you can also click on this arrow and move your cursor close to this ruler. Now when you move it close to these smaller lines, it will let you increase the size by increment of 1 or 2 units depending on the size of this extrusion. When you move it further away, it will let you again extrude by a factor of 5, 10 depending on the size of your extrusion. So in this case, I'll just leave it like this. So this height currently is 26 mm. As you can see here in the properties manager, we have this. Now let's change it to a specific value like 20 and I'll press the tab key and this will change here as well. Now if you don't want this sketch to extrude in this direction, then you can go to this direction option and click on this arrow. It will basically reverse the direction of this extrusion. I'll click again to move it back to defaults. Now in the direction option, we have this draft feature. If you activate this draft feature, this will let you add a taper angle or the draft angle. So right now this angle is 5 degrees and it is drafting inwards. But if you want to draft it outwards, just check this box. You can also increase the angle here. So maybe I'll just make it 6, 7, 10, 11, or maybe I'll just draft it inward and there we have it. That's the drafting. So this is just drafting inwards with respect to the vertical line. The angle is 11 degrees. Now I don't want to, so I'll uncheck this. Also here we have a feature called sketch contours. Right now this contour 1 is selected, which is basically the circle, but now I will remove this selection. To remove it, just go to this box, right click and select clear selections. Now nothing is selected. Now with this box selected, move your cursor close to the sketches and now you'll see that it is highlighting these areas. Instead of selecting the sketch, you can now select these areas and it will extrude the area that you've selected. So I'll select this area and you can even select multiple areas if you want to, but for now let's just stick with only this. And as you can see, this will just highlight it, and once again you can perform all the other operations that we have seen so far. So you can add height, you can add a draft angle, and you can also reverse the direction using this direction option. So with that, I'll just click OK, and here is the extruded feature. Now let's see what will happen if we try extruding a completely open sketch. So I'll just move it aside and now I'll go to sketch and sketch option, but now we don't have a plane. That's because the plane is now available in this feature tree. So if you expand the feature tree, you will see all the 3 planes here. Also, these planes are also available here in the feature manager design tree where we have the front, top and right plane. So select any plane. I'll select top plane. Alright, I'll zoom out and maybe move it here. And now I'll create a completely open sketch. So I'll go to line tool and using this, I will create a sketch, which is open, of course. So I'll press escape and exit the sketch environment. All right. Now this sketch is open, but we can still extrude it. So I'll go to features, extrude, and I'll select this open sketch. And here we are. It is now extruding this open sketch. But let's see what parameters we have and how we can modify this. So I'll just move it close to this. And now this one is a completely open contour or an open sketch, and this kind of feature is also called thin feature. So options related to this are available here in the thin feature panel. So currently we are making thin feature in only one direction. If you want to make it in both the directions, then go to this drop down and select two direction, and now it will extrude in this as well as in this direction with respect to the sketch line. Now if you want to decrease this value, the thickness, then you can change it here. So you can make it 5 for one of the directions and maybe 5 again for the second one if you want to keep it uniform. Now we have another option here called midplane. When you select midplane, it will do the same thing which I did. So in this case, you just need to change the value only once. For example, if I make it 6, it will add thickness of 6 unit on both the sides of your sketch. Now we have a checkbox called auto fillet corners. When you check this box, this will add fillets on all of these vertices. Right now the preview is not visible even though it is added. Let me show you how to see those things, those changes. But first, as you can see, the thickness is 6 and the fillet is 5, which is kind of big. So I'll just make it smaller. So I'll make it 2. With a smaller radius, I'll now go to this preview feature. So when you click on preview, this will show you a preview kind of like this, which isn't very helpful. So let's change the view. So I'll go to this options and uncheck the highlight new or modified faces option. And now you can see this clearly. So we have fillets right here of value 2. All right, let's check this one again and uncheck the preview. And we are back to this. Now you can also once again go back to one direction if you just want to add it in one direction, and it is right now adding it towards the inward direction. But if you want to just move it outside, then check this one or just click here and it will just reverse the direction. Click again to move it back inside. Now with these settings, I'll click OK. And that's the thin feature extruded. Now this isn't only required for this kind of open feature. I mean, you can make thin features out of close boundaries. So here we made 2 sketches to start with. We just added 2 sketches, but none of these are visible anymore because SolidWorks hides the sketch once you've created 3D model out of it. So in this case, I'll go to this boss extrude 1. That's the first feature, and I'll expand it from this feature manager tree. And here's the sketch. Click on it and then click this eye icon. So that will just activate the sketch again. So there it is. The sketches are once again visible, and now we can use it for extruding. So I'll go to extrude again, and now I'll select the circle. And once again, we can extrude this. But this time, instead of extruding this entire circle, I'll make a thin feature. So I'll go to this thin feature and I'll click here. Now, as you can see, it is now extruding along the boundaries only, and we can specify the thickness, which is 6 mm, and it is just making it outside. You can make it inside if you want to, and all the other options will still remain the same. You can also change the height if you want to using this or just by moving it from here. Once satisfied, click OK, and we are done. So that's how you can extrude the close as well as open sketches using extruded boss base feature.